I never thought I'd be the type of person who would have an affair. The word itself made me cringe. Adulterer, cheater, unfaithful. Yet here I was, sitting on the edge of our bed at 2 a.m., watching my husband Robert sleep peacefully while the weight of my guilt threatened to suffocate me. The moonlight streaming through our bedroom window cast shadows on his face, the same face I'd woken up to for the past 7 years, and I felt my heart breaking knowing what I was about to destroy. It started innocently enough, as these things often do. David joined our marketing team last spring, bringing with him a fresh perspective and an energy that seemed to reinvigorate our entire department. At first, our interactions were purely professional, strategy meetings, project discussions, casual lunch breaks with other colleagues. But gradually something shifted. Maybe it was the way he actually listened when I spoke, or how he remembered tiny details about my life that I'd mentioned in passing. Whatever it was, I found myself looking forward to our conversations more and more. The late nights at the office began subtly. A crucial project deadline here, an important presentation there. Robert never questioned it. He trusted me completely, which only made everything worse. David and I would often be the last ones in the office, ordering takeout and working side by side until the cleaning crew arrived. One night, as we were reviewing quarterly reports, our hands brushed, reaching for the same document. The electricity I felt in that simple touch scared me, but not enough to stop what was coming. Our first kiss happened during a business trip to Chicago. We'd been working late in the hotel's conference room, and somehow ended up sharing our deepest fears and dreams. When he leaned in, I didn't pull away. I should have, but I didn't. That kiss led to more stolen moments, hurried embraces in empty conference rooms, secret text messages, and eventually, a full-blown physical affair. Each time I came home to Robert, the guilt would eat at me, but I'd push it down, telling myself I deserved this happiness, this excitement. But guilt has a way of surfacing, no matter how deep you bury it. I became distant, distracted. Robert would ask about my day, and I'd give short, evasive answers. I stopped sharing the little details of my life with him, afraid I'd slip up and reveal something I shouldn't. Our intimate moments became less frequent, and when they did happen, I felt like I was betraying both men. I was living two separate lives, and the strain of maintaining both was slowly breaking me. Robert noticed the changes, of course. He's more perceptive than I gave him credit for. He started asking questions about my late nights, about why I seemed so distant. I'd make excuses, work stress, deadlines, professional development courses, but I could see the worry in his eyes, the hurt when I'd check my phone during dinner or leave the room to take calls. The man who had always trusted me implicitly was beginning to doubt, and it was entirely my fault. Last night was when everything finally crumbled. I came home late again, my lips still tingling from David's goodbye kiss, to find Robert sitting in the dark living room. He didn't say anything at first, just looked at me with such profound sadness that I felt my carefully constructed walls beginning to crack. "Are you having an affair?" he asked quietly, and the simple, direct question knocked the air from my lungs. In that moment, looking at the man who had loved me faithfully for so long, I couldn't lie anymore. The weight of my deception had become too heavy to bear, and as I stood there in our darkened living room, the truth finally spilled out. Every meeting, every touch, every lie, I confessed it all. Robert sat in silence, his face a mask of pain and betrayal, as I destroyed the life we'd built together. When I finished speaking, the silence that followed was deafening. The clock on our wall ticked away the seconds as 7 years of marriage hung in the balance. "How long?" he finally asked, his voice barely above a whisper. 4 months, I replied, and watched as he absorbed this information like a physical blow. "Do you love him?" The question cut through me like a knife. Did I love David? Or was I in love with the excitement, the forbidden nature of our relationship? I honestly didn't know anymore. What I did know was that I still loved Robert, but I wasn't sure if that would be enough to save us. Now, as morning approaches and I watch Robert sleeping, I wonder what tomorrow will bring. The truth is finally out, but it feels less like liberation and more like devastation. I've hurt the person who trusted me most in this world, and I don't know if we can come back from this. The affair with David seems almost dreamlike now, a fantasy that shattered the reality of my marriage. Tomorrow, I'll have to face the consequences of my actions, at home and at work. I'll have to tell David that it's over, face my colleagues knowing that our secret won't stay secret for long. The sun is starting to rise, painting our bedroom in shades of pink and gold. Robert stirs beside me, and I hold my breath, knowing that when he opens his eyes, we'll have to begin the painful process of deciding what comes next. Whether he chooses to try to forgive me or walk away, I know one thing for certain. I'll never again take for granted the trust of someone who loves me. Some secrets are too heavy to keep, and some prices are too high to pay for a moment of excitement. As I wait for Robert to wake up, I pray that it's not too late to learn from my mistakes.